Hi, I'm Charles Jennings. I've been working in the learning and development field for almost 40 years now. Now, I know pretty well every learning professional will get what I'm saying immediately, but a lot of people equate learning with training. But learning is much, much wider than that. Learning involves things we do every day. Training is an event or a series of events. Learning is a continuous process. And one of the major L&D mindset changes is required for supporting continuous learning is to really understand that and think about how we can identify opportunities to support people to learn from what they do, what they're about to do, what others have done. And that's really, really critical. We've got to move away from a mindset where we manage learning to a mindset where we enable learning, where we support learning, where we facilitate learning, where we ensure that where learning occurs, that we can capture that learning and we can share that learning. They're the critical things that learning and development professionals in the 21st century need to do. We've been trained, we've been through our education system, and we've been trained to do really great jobs in terms of training needs analysis, design, develop and delivery of programs, courses, e-learning modules and so on. And now we're seeing that although they still have a place, that's not the whole picture. In fact, that's only a small part of the picture. And if we only focus on that structured learning, we're missing a huge opportunity. And there's been slightly a disconnect in a way in that many organizations have built their learning and their learning technology platforms around what I would call traditional systems, which are really learning administration systems. And when you look at high-performing people and high-performing teams and high-performing organizations, they have a set of characteristics which really distinguish them from others. They've learnt the basics, usually in some structured way. Secondarily, they're learning from practice. They're focused on using their experiences to learn. They're knitted into a community of practice. You very, very rarely find high-performing people who are not absolutely embedded in their professional community. They're focused on sharing rather than holding knowledge to themselves. They're learning from rich conversations and networks and other people. And the last characteristic they display is that they're reflectors. The example I often give is from the sporting world. Rafa Nadal, clearly one of the top tennis players in the world, certainly isn't among the top 5. But if you look at the way Nadal plays tennis, he's first of all extremely determined. He doesn't give up. The second thing is he's an obsessive reflector. He'll reflect, he'll say, why did that go well? Or what went wrong there? What will I do next time? So if I were to give advice around how do you help support a culture of continuous learning, I would say build out in. Think about how we can support people in the workplace. How can we support them sharing what they learn in the workplace? And then think about how we tie together that learning, that social and experiential learning, with structured learning. But don't get caught up in terms of the structured learning. I've seen one organisation recently which is doing this really well, and they've adopted something called one learning a day. So across the organisation, the expectation is everyone will capture one learning a day, then they'll share that. One of the other things that organisations can do to build a culture of continuous learning is to make sure that they've got the infrastructure and technology right, that they've got the communication right, the thinking right, that their people are encouraged to share, that they're building a culture where sharing is valuable, and that's really critical. So for me, what organisations really need is they need tools that allow them to capture expertise and knowledge easily and to share it just as easily. And that really is critical. Fuse is a great tool to do that.